And now it's time for another vacation rental mailbag. Yes, I love these. Today's focus is on house cleaners as co-hosts. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by the community over at turnovercleaningtips.com. Turnover Cleaning Tips is a website that has all kinds of solutions for your turnover service. It's things that you might need, it's restocking supplies, it's tips, it's blogs, it's hints, and it's the vacation rental mailbag, along with a community. There's a whole community over there of people asking and answering your questions. So come on over and join us at turnovercleaningtips.com. All right, on to today's question, which is from an Airbnb host that wants to know, is it a good idea to partner with my house cleaner and to have them become my co-host? All right, that is a subjective question. It's a subjective answer. It could work for some people. It might not work for others. It depends on the type of house cleaner that you have. If you have a house cleaner that is uber reliable, somebody that you like, that you trust, that you are comfortable having in your home, to have them do an additional set of co-hosting duties might be the perfect match made in heaven. If that's the case, as the owner, you're able to outsource some of your responsibilities so that you can go either work on another property, or you can be at home with your family, or you can do other things. Now, we know that to run an Airbnb is an enormous responsibility, right? From the listing, the bookings, following up with guests, welcoming the guests into your home, doing this weird trade-off where they come in and you give them the house rules and you give them a key, and you already have checked prior to them arriving that everything is set up properly. There's the staging, the restocking, all this stuff, just for the guest to come. Then after the guest leaves, there's a whole bunch of more responsibilities where you have to go through and you have to take pictures of all the rooms that they left and make sure that everything is as they received it. And then if there's any damage, that you document the damage. Then you have to clean up after the person. You got to take off all the linens and wash all the towels, and you have to restock and reset everything for the next guest. So it's an enormous process just to get the people in the door. And then that's when the cleaning starts and there's a whole other set of responsibilities. So in order to partner with your house cleaner, that would be an ideal situation because that person is already going to be in your home. And so if you can find a way to make some of those other duties part of their job, that gives you a chance to pay them more money. All right, so the next question is, one woman said, my house cleaner thinks that because she's doing the restocking and the staging, that she is already the co-host and I should be paying her more money. So what do the co-hosting duties involve? Well, the co-hosting duties are a little bit different from just the regular house cleaning because the regular house cleaning could include the restocking and the staging of your property. The co-hosting gets a little bit interesting where you start talking about the online listing. So as the host, you've put together the listing and you're on a site like Airbnb or HomeAway or Flipkey or some of those other sites. And then a guest responds and they say, yes, I would like to stay at your house. I have a quick question. And then they ask you a question. Part of the co-hosting duties is to jump online and to answer those questions. So this is not about the cleaning. This is not about the stocking and restaging. This is about dealing with the customer. It's customer service before the customer arrives. And the customer hasn't booked yet. So nobody gets paid for this yet. So part of the co-hosting duties includes not even having the customer yet. Now, once the customer books, they're going to ask questions like, hey, where's the nearest whatever, because they want to plan to park their car, or are they going to take a Lyft or an Uber, or is there free parking, or any of those things. Now, in a perfect world, that would be in your listing, but if it's not in your listing, they need to know where they can park for free parking. They need to know what parking spaces they're allowed to park in. They need to know all these other things. So as a co-host, you're going to jump in and answer those questions. Then there may be some weird questions that you don't even know, like, hey, I know that you say no pets, but I have a service dog. Can I bring my service dog to the stay because he goes with me everywhere I go? Then somebody would have to jump in and answer those questions because even though it's in your listing, they're going off book and they're asking a different question. Someone has to respond to that. Now, if you are on site and you are nearby and the guest, for example, after they've booked the stay, after they're staying at your house, let's say that a pipe breaks and the place starts flooding while the guest is there. They need a 24/7 emergency number to call. So if you are the host and you live in a different city, having your house cleaner as your co-host makes a perfect situation because they can run over there. They already have cleaning supplies. They know how to clean up a flood if that's the case. They probably have connections through something like housecleaning360.com where they can call a plumber and get somebody over there to fix the pipes. So they could make all those things happen as the co-host. So there are a bunch of other duties that are involved, and for that you pay a fee, which leads us to our next vacation rental mailbag question, which is how much do you pay if your house cleaner is also your co-host? Co-hosting is not cheap. What you're doing is you're hiring a business partner, and for that, your business partner should be compensated fairly. And so depending on the ratio of the duties, and they could be anything from letting the guest in and saying hi to the guest and handing the key and giving them the house rules and whatever, to all this extra customer service that we're talking about. Some people even go so far as saying you're going to SEO, search engine optimize my listing. And so they do other things like that as well. So it depends on the wide variety of services that you offer. But the average range is anywhere from 5 to 30%. So if you are a house cleaner, you're going to charge your regular house cleaning fee because the house cleaning has nothing to do with the co-hosting duties. The cleaning is its own separate thing. You could hire a house cleaner separately from being a co-host. And so if you're going to add co-hosting onto that, it's 5 to 30% plus the house cleaning fee. So there's an opportunity for a house cleaner to make a whole lot more money. Now, the beautiful part of it is this. If you have a house cleaner that you like and trust, and you want them to be your co-host, there's a huge incentive there. Because what you're doing is you're locking that person into your property. This person has an emotional investment in your property. They want to do the best job that they can at cleaning because the ratings and reviews are in your both best interest, right? Not just so they can keep their cleaning job, but now because as a co-host, you getting higher ratings and reviews means more bookings. And so there's an invested interest in having your house cleaner also be your co-host. So it is something to think about. It's something that I highly recommend. I'm all for outsourcing as much of your business as you possibly can. The more you outsource, the more you can bring in, the more you personally can do to raise your bottom line, whether it's more properties or whether it's doing something that you really love or even working on another business. So yes, I highly recommend it if you find the right person. And that's the caveat. It comes down to finding the right person. You don't want somebody you don't like, that you don't trust, that's doing kind of an okay job, but they're not very reliable. You want somebody you really can count on to become your business partner. Alrighty, I hope that helps just a little bit. If it does, please pass this on to a friend. Who knows, you might know someone in the Airbnb or the vacation rental space. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.